save everyone. May the power of Kabbalah be with everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're excited to bring you some amazing content that you won't want to miss. We're about to dive into, insert video topic, a fascinating topic that will expand your horizons and provide valuable information. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos, and if you're already part of our community, thank you for being with us once again. Let's get started. The 22 Paths in Kabbalah. The Tree of Life is a symbolic representation used to understand the structure of the universe and the relationship between God and creation, as well as the spiritual journey of the individual. 22 paths, in Kabbalah, which are part of the Tree of Life, an important symbol in Kabbalistic tradition. The Tree of Life consists of 10 Sefirot, spheres, interconnected by 22 paths. Each of these paths has specific meanings and attributes and is associated with a Hebrew letter, a planet, a tarot card, and so on, depending on the Kabbalistic tradition. The 22 paths are often used as a symbolic and mystical tool to explore the spiritual journey, the creation of the universe, and understanding the mind of God, according to Kabbalistic tradition. They represent connections and flows of energy between the Sefirot, which, in turn, represent divine aspects and states of existence. Each path is associated with a specific meaning and can be studied in various ways, depending on the Kabbalistic tradition and system of correspondences used. It is a complex area of Jewish mysticism and is studied by those who wish to deepen their spiritual and metaphysical understanding. In the Kabbalistic tradition, of the 22 paths that connect the 10 Sefirot on the Tree of Life, 3 of them are considered impractical or inaccessible to our common human state of consciousness, since they originate directly in Kether, the Sephirot that represents the crown and is the closest to divinity, the highest point on the tree. These 3 paths that originate in Kether and are considered impractical are: the path of Aleph links Kether to Chokmah. The path of Ayin links Kether to Bina. The path of Tzadi links Kether to Yesod. These paths are often seen as beyond the reach of ordinary human understanding and experience, representing more direct connections to the divine, which makes them difficult to access for most people. Instead, most Kabbalistic studies and practices focus on the remaining 19 paths, which are considered accessible and explorable in our quest to understand creation, divinity, and our own spiritual journey. In the Kabbalistic tradition, the paths of the Tree of Life are often considered as paths of life, and spiritual initiation is seen as a process that is intrinsically linked to the experience of walking these paths. The Kabbalistic understanding and wisdom associated with these paths are not just theoretical, but involve direct experience and spiritual living. The spiritual journey in Kabbalah is seen as a personal and ongoing quest to understand the nature of divinity, the structure of the universe, and human nature itself. This involves exploring the paths and Sefirot on the Tree of Life, and each of these paths represents a lesson, an experience, and an aspect of the spiritual journey. Therefore, Kabbalah often emphasizes that, to unlock the secrets and achieve a deeper understanding, it is necessary to walk these paths through one's own life and experience. It is a path of self-discovery, spiritual evolution, and the search for unity with the divine. Kabbalah is a study that values practice and personal experience as a means of spiritual growth and understanding. In addition to representing the energy flows and structure of the Tree of Life, paths in the Kabbalistic tradition are also associated with works and tasks that must be performed as part of the spiritual journey. Each path is considered a path to spiritual development and personal improvement. These works may include meditation, study, reflection, ritualistic practices, and other actions that help awaken and balance the energies represented by each path. As an individual travels these paths, they face challenges and opportunities for growth, which contributes to the expansion of their spiritual consciousness and understanding. Therefore, Kabbalah is a tradition that not only describes the structure of the universe, but also provides a practical guide for spiritual development and the pursuit of union with the divine. Each path on the Tree of Life offers unique lessons and opportunities to work on your spiritual evolution. The paths that connect the Sefirot on the tree of life in the Kabbalistic tradition play a fundamental role in the transmission and circulation of energies and influences between the different Sefirot. Each path represents a connection or link between two adjacent Sefirot, and these connections all. The Sefirot on the tree of life are often grouped into three columns. The right column, called the column of mercy. The left column, called the judgment column. And the middle column, harmony column. The Sefirot in the right and left columns are often seen as opposing or complementary. For example, Chesed, mercy, in the right column is considered opposite to Gebura, judgment, in the left column. Understanding these polarities and the relationships between opposing Sefirot is fundamental to a balanced view of reality and to understanding the nature of divine forces and the polarities that exist in the world and in the human psyche itself. Therefore, when studying the Sefirot, it is important to consider not only the meaning of each individual Sephirah, but also how they relate to their opposing counterparts, as this helps to gain a more complete picture of Kabbalistic wisdom. This allegorical vision is a way of describing how divine energy or influence flows and manifests in creation. Each Sephirah has its own specific characteristics and attributes, and this structure is used in Kabbalah as a means of understanding the relationship between God and the material world, as well as the process of creation. The Sephirot and the Tree of Life are often used to explore the relationship between the spiritual world and the material world, as well as the influence of these realms on our personal selves. Each Sephirah represents different aspects of divinity, and as they descend from the highest Sephirah, Kether, to the lowest, Machath, they represent the progression of divine energy as it manifests in the physical world. Furthermore, Kabbalah also explores the idea that our personal desires can be influenced by the energies of the Sephirot. For example, desires that originate in the ego may be associated with lower Sephirot, while desires more aligned with the divine may be associated with higher Sephirot. The practice of Kabbalah often involves meditating on the Sephirot and the relationships between them, in hopes of gaining spiritual understanding and guidance for one's personal life. In Kabbalah, in addition to the 10 Sephirot, there are 22 paths that connect the Sephirot on the Tree of Life, and these paths are often associated with the 22 major arcana of the tarot, forming a symbolic relationship between these mystical systems. These 32 paths, 22 paths plus the 10 Sephirot, represent the complex network of interactions and connections between the various spheres of spiritual, mental, emotional and physical influence. Each path is unique and is seen as a path of communication between the different Sephirot, representing the ways in which divine energy flows and manifests itself in our personal lives. Symbolism, interpretation, and understanding these paths and connections is essential for anyone who wishes to explore Kabbalistic philosophy and its application in personal and spiritual life more deeply. It offers a system for exploring the relationships between the divine and the human, between the spiritual world and the material world. The Tree of Life and its Sephirot are often associated with the Macrocosm, the greater reality or universe, and the paths as the microcosm, the inner reality, including the human spiritual journey. This fits well with the Kabbalistic view that the Sephirot represent divine emanations and the broader aspects of creation, while the paths represent the spiritual journey and human understanding of the cosmos. The rays of light that unite the Sephirot symbolize the link between these aspects of the macrocosm and microcosm, demonstrating how human understanding progresses through the various stages of spiritual and divine understanding. And these macrocosmic and microcosmic analogies help to illustrate the complexity of the relationship between the divine and the human within this esoteric tradition. The Sephirot, in this context, represent objective natural forces and broader aspects of creation, while the paths represent subjective states of consciousness that an individual may experience in their spiritual quest. This interpretation is yet another way to illustrate how Kabbalah is used to explore the relationship between the divine and the human, between the macrocosm and the microcosm, and how symbols are used to represent spiritual concepts and personal evolution. Each person can have their own interpretation and understanding of Kabbalah based on their spiritual journey and perspective. It also refers to the course of energies through the 33 vertebrae of the spinal column. The idea that the Sephirot represent the pathways through which sexual energies ascend may be a specific interpretation that is based on a particular understanding of Kabbalah. Likewise, the inclusion or not of the earth element in the paths that lead to the invisible may be a specific approach of a Kabbalistic school or tradition. The reference to the 33 Vert. In summary, meditation on symbols and the oral transmission of knowledge are important aspects of Kabbalistic practice and many esoteric traditions, intended to deepen spiritual understanding and consciousness. This explanation is accurate and reflects an important approach in Kabbalah, where understanding the paths between the Sephirot involves a careful analysis of the nature of the spheres of the tree of life and also consideration of the Kabbalistic worlds. Kabbalah recognizes that each path among the Sephirot has its own unique characteristics and properties, and meditation is often used as a tool to explore these characteristics. Through meditation, practitioners can deepen their spiritual understanding by exploring the nature of energy and consciousness associated with each Kabbalistic path and world. This approach demonstrates how Kabbalah is a tradition rich in symbolism and spiritual practice, where direct experience and deep contemplation play a fundamental role in the search for understanding the mysteries of creation and the relationship between the divine and the human. Each path and Sephirot represents a unique facet of this quest, and meditation is a valuable tool for exploring these facets. This analysis highlights an important distinction in Kabbalah between the macrocosm and the microcosm, the universal and the individual. This view is a common interpretation within the Kabbalistic tradition and is often used to understand the role of the Sephirot and the paths in the spiritual journey and understanding the universe. The 10 Sephirot, as mentioned, are often associated with the macrocosm, representing divine forces and broader aspects of creation. They are seen as the objective spheres that make up the universe. On the other hand, the 22 paths are often associated with the microcosm, representing the spiritual journey and developmental stages of understanding the human soul. Each path is seen as a step on the journey towards deeper understanding of the cosmos and the relationship between the divine and the individual. This distinction between the macrocosm and microcosm is one of the distinguishing features of Kabbalah and helps illustrate how the tradition deals with the complex interaction between the divine and the human. It offers a rich framework for spiritual exploration and deepening understanding of existence. Within Kabbalah, these 10 Sephirot represent specific aspects of creation and divinity, while the 22 paths symbolize the connections and interactions between these Sephirot. These 22 connections are often associated with the 22 major arcana of the tarot, which also have deep symbolic meanings. This framework of the 10 Sephirot and 22 paths is one of the pillars of Kabbalah and is used to explore the interaction between the divine and the material world, as well as the spiritual journey and understanding the cosmos. Kabbalah offers a rich, symbolic vision that allows practitioners to deepen their understanding of existence and the relationship between the macrocosm and microcosm. In Kabbalah, the paths are often considered channels or paths of divine influence that connect the Sephirot, which are seen as the spheres of the tree of life. These paths represent the way in which divine energy flows and interacts between the different spheres or Sephirot, allowing for a deeper understanding of the interconnection between the divine aspects and creation. This distinction between paths, which are the lines of connection, and Sephirot, which are the spheres, is fundamental to the symbolic structure of Kabbalah. The paths represent relationships, communication, and the passage of energy between the different spheres, while the Sephirot represent specific aspects of divinity and creation. Exploring these paths is an important part of Kabbalistic practice and study, as they play a central role in understanding divine flow and spiritual evolution. The enigmatic texts associated with each of the 32 paths in Kabbalah are an integral part of Kabbalistic tradition and practice. These texts often contain clues, symbols, and symbolic information that help practitioners understand the meaning and nature of each path. These enigmatic texts can be interpreted in many ways and are often seen as an invitation to deep contemplation, meditation, and reflection. They are part of the process of unlocking the mysteries of Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and interpreting these texts often involves combining spiritual insights with symbolic understanding. Kabbalah is an esoteric tradition that values the personal quest for spiritual understanding and direct contact with the divine, and these enigmatic texts play an important role in this process, encouraging practitioners to deepen their connection to the mysteries of creation and the cosmos. Emphasizing the importance of studying the paths in Kabbalah in relation to the Sefirot that they unite. Each of the 22 paths represents the Khan. Tarot and Kabbalah share a rich heritage of symbolism and esotericism, and the relationship between the 22 paths and 22 trumps of the tarot is an example of this deep connection between these two traditions. It allows for a broader and enriching exploration of spiritual mysteries and the inner journey. So we have 3 groups of symbols. The 10 Sephirot, each Sephirot represents specific aspects of divinity in creation, with individual attributes and meanings. The 22 paths, each path unites 2 Sephirot and is associated with a major arcanum of the tarot, contributing to the symbolic and esoteric interpretation. The 22 trumps of the tarot, major arcana. Each of the major arcana of the tarot has symbolic and esoteric meanings and is related to the paths in Kabbalah. These 3 groups of symbols are fundamental in Kabbalah and tarot and are interconnected, contributing to a deeper and more holistic understanding of spirituality and the pursuit of esoteric knowledge. They are used as tools for exploring the mysteries of the universe and the spiritual journey. Okay guys, we've finished this part of the video and we will continue the second part soon. I hope you enjoyed this video and found valuable information. If you liked the content, don't forget to give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with more interesting content. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video. May the power of Kabbalah stay with everyone, see you later.